Hi everybody, this is Julissa. Thank you so much for coming back to my channel. And if you are listening in the podcast, thank you so much for being here. I want to thank you for subscribing and to join me here on the podcast. And just to let you know, I'm also offering subscriptions on the Apple Podcast. You can just find me by searching Julissadesigns podcast there. I usually upload up exclusive content there if you're a subscriber. I wanted to come here, guys. Happy first day of August, I gotta say, first and foremost. It is August 1st, 2023. Thanks be to God that we have an opportunity to continue here in this life. I'm ready to see what God is doing next. It was a great July, and I'm ready for a new new month. I'm ready to see what God has for me next. In case you didn't know, I'm very busy getting ready for New York Fashion Week. That's a whole nother story. I just wanted to let you know, if you don't see me posting as often, that's the reason why. I'm getting myself ready for New York Fashion Week, which is going to take place in September. So just one more month away, okay? Wanted to come here real quick, guys. There's a lot going on. Okay, we are so ready for the return of Jesus. You can see it. There's so many breaking news, so many news, so many things unfolding at this moment, right? But today, I was like, I meant to do a podcast, like a video, like maybe 2 days ago, and never got to it. Like I said, I've been busy. But I'm like, I want to speak about this because I was last week, okay, if you don't follow me on my other social media, last week I tweeted something. I got the shock of my life, okay? Shame on me though, because here's the thing. We hear, if you're a Christ believing person, you hear your entire life, right? You might be the only Jesus somebody knows. And that, it makes sense, but at the same time, that's putting a lot of responsibility on people. Nobody's going to be just like Jesus. Jesus said, you want to strive to be like him, sinless and all of that. But we're humans, like, and I'm not saying that Jesus wasn't, but we're gonna fall. We're gonna need the grace of God every single day, right? We're gonna ask for forgiveness and all of that. But the reason that I want to bring this up is speaking about being surprised by something that I discovered last week. This is why I don't like social media sometimes. And when you have a hunch about something about someone, pray about it and ask God to reveal the things to you, because surely enough, you're going to find it. The Bible says, seek and you shall find. And that's exactly what I did. Boy, was I surprised. At the same time, I'm thankful that God gives me that revelation just so that I know not to be fooled by these people. Everybody is playing this double life. Most of the people, right? I gotta be careful what I say, but I found out something that really shocked me so much. Like I was like with my open mouth for like 10 minutes. What I saw, I was like, I can't believe what I'm looking at. It got me so surprised, so shocked, and I actually got sick to my stomach. I thought these people were not the people that I saw, right? I was completely shocked to see that. So openly public, they're willing to let go of this idea they are really Christians, and they're not. Who am I to even judge that, right? But the Bible says, by their fruits you will know them, right? So what I saw, I was like, are you serious? This is what they do on their free time? This is how they spend their time? And like I said, when I discovered that, I got so sick to my stomach. I had never gotten like that before. I'm like, I need to get out. Like I started sweating. I got sick to my stomach. And like I said, after I recovered from that, I was like, shame on me for from putting people on a pedestal. Okay, people these days are living double lives. They know how to play the game. They know how to tell you what you want to hear. They know how to play along the customs, right? They know how to say the right things. That's why we have to be so careful when we meet somebody. We have to be careful. Like one thing with me, I don't like flattery. Like when somebody just meet you and then they basically just go crazy with the flattery. You're like, what is it that you want, basically? I don't like that. So it was so shocking. And then after I recovered from that, I'm like, oh my gosh, calm down. Shame on you. Now everything's up in the open. Everything's on top of the table, basically. I was like, okay, calm down. But I'm thinking, then I started crying because I'm like, if that's me, like, who am I? Like, these people are not really my friends or anything. Who am I? Like, that affected me so much that, like I said, it got me sick to my stomach. Imagine what Jesus sees, right? I was like, then I started crying because I'm like, wow, God, that's why Jesus said to Peter, you're going to deny me 3 times. You're going to walk with me all these years, all this time, seeing so many miracles and all of that. But when it's showtime, basically, you're going to still deny me. And that's exactly what I saw. If you're going to be part of the world, then you're still, and you want to call yourself a Christian, you are denying Christ. I don't know how else to call it. That's exactly what it is. So we have to be careful that not everything we see is as it seems, right? And if you have a hunch, that's like the Holy Spirit. You're saying, you're not seeing things for what they are. There's more to this story. And I pray about it. I'm like, what am I missing? What am I missing here? And I pray. And just like the Bible says, seek and you shall find, there it was. There's so much evidence that I found. And it's just sad, okay? It was so sad. But um just letting you know that I needed to tell you that story just so that you know what I'm going to talk to you guys about. So Lizzo, she's a famous singer. I'm not a fan of hers, nothing like that, but I know who she is, okay? So a lot of people say, they don't, they say they believe in Christ, but I know there's a lot of people who know about Christ. That doesn't necessarily mean that they follow Jesus, right? But anyways, Lizzo is being sued right now by some of her former dancers. And I always say, these people, all these singers, we all know, and the majority of them, maybe 98% of them, they sell their souls to obtain fame and fortune in this world, right? And I could never understand, putting Lizzo aside for a second. I'm gonna get to the stories, but putting Lizzo aside, I always wonder, like, let's say somebody like Shakira, right? Everybody's, oh my goodness, everybody puts Shakira on a pedestal, but I could never understand how is it that Shakira can go on a stage and dance the way she dances and go on the floor almost naked, dancing with men and women, so that the young girls that look up to her look at her and think that that's acceptable, right? And then the next day, she's at the UNICEF fully suited up, saying she cares for the youth and she wants to donate to people in poverty. And everybody, she's such a hero. She's sort of this. But did you not see what she did the day before? It's so funny how everything's justified like that, right? It's like she sells venom basically to your children when she's singing on a stage, right? Like she did with the other one, Jennifer Lopez, on the Super Bowl a couple years back. And then because she donates to a big corporation, she's such a hero and all of that. That's what they say about all these people, right? So Lizzo, right? Let's get to the story. Lizzo, excuse me. Lawsuit by former dancers accuses Lizzo of sexual harassment and creating a hostile work environment. I have been in a hostile work environment, and let me tell you, that is one of the worst things that you can experience in your work life. It's probably one of the worst things because when it gets to that point when it's already hostile, it means that everybody's playing along with the boss, right? Everybody's involved and they don't like you anymore. So you basically everything you can say good morning and they'll be like, we don't like how the tone of voice that she used for that. So that means, you need to get out of there, right? Because it's coming, right? Let me read to you guys this article. Lizzo has been sued by 3 former dancers who accused the Grammy winner of sexual harassment and alleged the singer and her production company created a hostile work environment. The civil lawsuit filed Tuesday, so yesterday, August 1st, in Los Angeles County Superior Court claims Lizzo pressured the dancers to engage with new performers at a club in Amsterdam and shamed one of them for her weight before firing her. Like Miss Lizzo, okay? Miss Lisa, who stands so much for plus size and be on your own skin and all of that, is gonna fire somebody for gaining weight. This is what I mean. Like, people are like, everything that you do in the dark will come to light, and people can think just because they have an entourage and everything they say they're being clapped at, and oh yeah, Lisa said that's green, it's actually red, ha ha ha. Everybody's going along with it because she has a fan club surrounding her, because that's what they do. When you're a person of fame and fortune, like, you're gonna have all these people following you, and they're never gonna be, God forbid they object anything that you might say, right? They're gonna applaud you, right? So Miss Lizzo, who stands up for so much, who hates probably body shaming and all of that, well, that's what she tells the world that she does. Look what she does behind closed doors. Okay, and a lot of people are gonna say, "Oh, because she's famous, that's why all these stories come out like that." It goes on, artist after artist, right? Every artist has the same story. Everybody, basically has the same story, and people justify it by, it's because they're famous. That's why people say mean things to them. That's why people are doing lawsuits on them. I understand that, and a lot of the times that could be true, but we already have a person who was the creative director for Lizzo, who already came out. She said, I worked with Lizzo for 3 years, I believe she said, and I am glad that the dancers stood up for themselves and are actually filing this lawsuit. So here comes somebody who's already been part of this crew and saying that is exactly what Lizzo does. What a shame, what a contradiction of the mind will be for you to be a backup dancer to this person who is so famous, who wins award after award, who people are crying when she comes on stage because people give their testimony and saying how free they feel to see somebody like Lisa represent them on a stage, at a Grammy, or whatever it is that she's doing, because she's somebody of size, and they feel great that she's able to be the top charge and all of that. And these dancers are working with her, are working in a hostile environment, being fat shamed, okay, being told to perform these obscene things when they go out with her, being forced to go out with her after performance are done, just so that they can keep their jobs. What a contradiction of the mind that must have been for these people. And then the crazy thing is that Lizzo and the people surrounding her, they think that that's all okay, right? It is crazy, guys. It is crazy that people are, I guarantee you 100%, because this is how it usually works in this type of industries. A lot of the times, what's going to happen is it's going to be settled out of court, right? Oh, there's not sufficient evidence to come out, because right now I guarantee you that Lisa is probably yelling at all of her staff, making them sign confidentiality agreements right now, making sure that they're not going to come out and say anything or collaborate with any of these dancers or anything. Probably making threats to their family, because that's how these people operate, right? They're not going to lose their fame and fortune just because three dancers were brave enough to come out and say something about their work environment and how they've been feeling for the past, whatever, how long they've been working with her, right? Let me just read to you more. Um, The plaintiff, Ariana Davis, Krista Williams, and Noel Rodriguez, make numerous charges, including sexual, religious, and racial harassment, disability discrimination, assault, and false imprisonment. This is a lot. Okay, the legal complaint seeks unspecified damages and names Melissa Vivian Jefferson, known for professionally as Lizzo, her production company, Big Girl. Look at the name of her company, Big Girl. Big Touring Inc., and Charlene Quilly, captain of the performance dance team. Representative of Lizzo did not immediately respond to emails seeking comments for the lawsuit. Um, The court filings claims that after performing at a concert in Amsterdam, Lizzo and her crew attended a sexually themed show at a club in the city's notorious red light district, where Lizzo began inviting cast members to take turns touching the new performers, right? Peer pressuring people into doing something. And there's a lot of explicit stuff that of course I'm not gonna read here, and they were forcing one of them to participate to the point when even when she said no, I don't feel comfortable doing that, Lisa basically make everybody in that club chant and say, come on, you can do it, type of thing, right, to pressure her into doing it. Lisa, who routinely champions body positivity, is also accused of calling out Davis for her break-in after accusing the dancer of not being committed to her role. Davis was fired in May for recording a meeting during which Lisa gave out notes to dancers about their performance, according to the complaint. Right? Why is she so concerned about what she does? She goes she gives them reviews about their dancing, and one of them was recording it, and she didn't like that, right? um because a lot of these singers, the reason that I said, why would she have a problem with that, a lot of these singers, they participate in like reality competitions like American Idol, and they give feedback and they do this and the other. If that's basically what you're doing with your dancers, why can't they record it, right? Maybe some people like to replay feedback so they know, maybe I'll do this time. That's what she meant when she said that or something. Why she have a problem, right? People are crazy. Um, it says here, in addition, after discovering that Davis was a virgin, Lisa frequently discussed the subject and brought it up in interviews and posted it on social media, broadcasting an intensely personal data about Miss Davis to the world, according to the lawsuit. So she had a problem with her being a virgin. That is crazy. And you know, there was something about Lisa and this never get through. Um I just like I don't know how to explain it. It's almost like when I think you guys know that I do a lot of breaking news on my YouTube channel. And one of the performances that she did, I don't know if it was MTV or the Grammys, she had all these women, coming out, and they're all clapping for her. Or like one group of women came from the audience and they're like, we're so proud of her. What a contradiction of the mind that must have been for the people who actually worked with her. Right? And don't get me wrong, a lot of the times when people are in leadership positions, right? They're not so liked because they are the ones who tell you, what you're doing wrong and things like that. But like I said, you know, I'm not being quick to believe this story just because I don't, at least it's not my favorite, nothing like that. Already we have somebody who came out and said, one of the creative director, her former creative director already said, I am glad that these dancers are coming out and speaking, right? Do you guys remember during the pandemic, I believe it was, what happened to Ellen DeGeneres? Like, what somebody said something about her, and then there were so many other testimonies of people. Miss Ellen DeGeneres, Miss Happy dancing all the time, everything's happy, doesn't even like for people to look at her when they're in the studio with her, or like address her or nothing like that. That's crazy. And this is how these people live their lives, okay? And they are surrounded by a group of people around them, their entourage, who are accepting of all of this, right? Um, and it's so crazy. We put all these people on a pedestals, right? And we think they got it, right? And young girls, probably young girls who are struggling with their weight, might look at somebody like Lizzo and have posters of her in their bedroom, and they love her music and all of that. And they're like, I want to be just like her when I grow up. Like her, really? This is why parents need to be involved in what their children are listening to. They need to be aware. They need to know, like, any updates like this, right? Anything, because like, even some of her music, to be honest, but I think one of her music um got very, very, I think it was on TikTok. It was like everybody was making videos with that little track of one of her songs. And then when somebody finally understood what she was basically saying, everybody's like, oh my goodness. And they had like baby dancing to this music, which is very catchy and all of that. And it's just, you know it's so crazy. Not everything is as we think it is, right? You have to remember, a lot of people know how to play the game. They know, that they know how to say the right things. Um, it's almost like people have a script sometimes, everything has to be, everything has to be the same thing. It's, I don't even know. I don't want to get into it, but I was talking to somebody the other day, and it's like, wow, you're basically going by script, right? They were saying everything just, it's almost like you're watching like a movie with them, the way they were speaking. Um, but also remember that people are also doing a job, right? Um, I'm trying to get a good example. People are also in a lot of these positions just basically doing a job, and that also includes people in the church. A lot of people are just as staff members. That doesn't mean that they are follower of Christ. A lot of people are doing things just to earn a paycheck. They might be just good at something, okay? So we'll see what comes out of this lawsuit. I think that it's either going to be settled outside of court for an undisclosed amount, and she's going to get even more tougher with her staff, more confidentiality, more harassment, and all of that. Because one thing I learned from my past in working in different places is that when the minute you want to call out a hostile work environment, like I said, when it gets to that point when it's already hostile, um, that means that everybody's involved, and you're basically the cast out. And if you say something is off in this office, it's gonna get even stronger. The pressuring, the harassment, everything you do is wrong, basically. So you should just leave. Don't say anything. When people get to that point, when they want to make a hostile work environment, the background work has already been done. You're the target, and if you feel it's for a reason. You see, the people that used to be talking to you, they don't want to talk to you anymore, and they go along with the game basically because they're afraid to lose their job. So we'll see what comes out of this. We'll see what comes out of this. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming here and watching this video, listening in the podcast. Let me know what you guys think. Have a good day, everybody. God bless.